Greetings all, it's the Devious Monkey here. What an interesting week it's been. So I was on the road this week and filming as usual. I was on the phone with a work person and I looked up and I saw a cop and I looked down and saw how fast I was going. I was like, shit, I'm gonna get a ticket. And he's like, oh really? And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna get me. And he didn't pull out. I was like, oh, sweet. Then I got another phone call while I was on that phone call and I got distracted. And before I even knew what was happening, I looked up, I saw another cop, looked at how fast I was going, and I said, shit, I'm definitely gonna get a ticket. And sure enough, he pulled out, turned on his lights, so I got a ticket. It's the first time in the 11 plus years that I've been doing this job that I've gotten a ticket. There was no, yeah, I'll let you go, slow down. It was a sign here. Ultimately, it's my fault. I was speeding. I wasn't paying attention because it was in the area where you don't speed, and I know that. So then I was paranoid the rest of the trip, and I literally had to drive most of the time I was in the truck with the cruise control on because, like, it's hardwired into me not to drive the speed limit. There's nothing that I filmed that was even remotely interesting, so I'm not going to show you any of that. I just wanted to relay the story of my dumb monkey ass getting a ticket. So because of all that and just needing to wind down, I got back Wednesday, and Thursday it was damn near 70 degrees out, which was the calm before the storm, because now it's not 70 degrees out. It's probably under 20 degrees now. So I decided that I was going to take the time to go to Pleasure House Point. So I did go to Pleasure House Point and I took my cameras with me. I took my Insta360 Ace Pro 2, the Go 3S, plus I had my birding setup, the A7R5 with the Sigma 500, and I walked around and I got pictures. Shit ton of waterfowl, which is standard for this time of year. They end up coming here and spending all their time in the lakes and the rivers around here. So that was pretty cool. But again, it was so nice out that it was just nice to not be trapped in my truck, driving from meeting to meeting, getting tickets, and just enjoying myself being outside. The biggest thing for me was like, all right, I was actually testing my ability to use all of these different new cameras, all these new Insta360 cameras and everything, and incorporate them into what I'm doing. Oh, I also had the X5. I did get the X5 again. I also got this. This is, I don't even know who the company is, but whatever. Colax. It's a Colax modular bag. And the big thing is this thing right here in the center. You can pull this out and put a different bag type thing there. That's actually a power unit. It's basically an external battery that I can charge from. So I charged it up, it was good to go, but I didn't want to go out with that. I'm not ready for that yet. And it also has the ability to, it has a pole, an extendable pole that you can mount to the right or left side, whichever you want. And it just has a 1/4-20 on it. So I can hook up the X5 on that, which is probably what I'm going to do. And I can then be hands-free. I don't have to worry about that 360 camera, and I can extend it way up and I can walk around with it and it'll get everything around me, you know, kind of like I wanted to do. And then I can hold my Ace Pro 2 and then I have the Go 3S. Like, well, actually I had it on my hat and that seemed to work okay. It's all new to me. I'm trying this out, seeing how I can get the flow a little bit different and, you know, change things up a bit. You know me, I'm always changing stuff. That was my big experiment, was to go out there and try these cameras out and see how it goes. Now, it still sucks, doesn't matter how small the camera is, it still sucks carrying all this different shit and trying to hold my A7R5 and take pictures and all that stuff. And, you know, it's better than having two full-size mirrorless cameras with me and all that, but it's still a little bit cumbersome. Now, the next thing that happened to me when I went to do this filming in Pleasure House Point, and I didn't do it as a monkey in the wild because it was more testing than it was going out there to film me going out and getting pictures. It was just seeing how everything worked together and if I could get a good flow going. Well, on my way back to the truck, because I had walked out of Pleasure House Point on the other side, on the, like the Lakeshore Drive side, and I walked over to the little bridge and I looked around, I didn't see anything, and I turned around and I started walking back along the sidewalk / path to get to the corner to turn and go back to where the truck was. And I stopped recording and I took the Ace Pro 2 that was on my little, you know, handle, and I stuck it difficultly into the pocket of my Scott E vest. And I walked back to the truck. And as I was walking back, I had to pee. So I was like, all right, I need to go into the woods. My age with my issues, when you gotta go, you gotta go. So I walked over the little like fence posty thing and went into the woods so that I was out of eye shot of the street, and I peed. Turned around, walked back out, went to the truck, and I started taking everything off and putting it on the seats, and I reached into the pocket and the camera wasn't there. The Ace Pro 2 wasn't there, and I was like, wait, the hell happened? And I started looking around. I was thinking, am I brain farting? You know, did I set it down? Did I put it in a bag already? What did I do? It was gone. I lost the camera. And I had just been having a discussion inside Pleasure House Point with these two women about, you know, how much everything costs and how, you know, it wouldn't be as painful to lose an action camera because it's not nearly as expensive. You know, like, all right, I lose $300, $400 worth of camera compared to losing $10,000 worth of camera, you know, or dropping it or whatever. Because I, at one point, had showed them the Go 3S and I pulled it off and it was so slippery, I dropped it. And they're like, oh, and I go, no, 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 it's okay. That's what these things are made for. So here I am, ironically telling this woman that it's no big deal to lose it. And then 10 minutes later, I lost it. So I'm like, holy shit, I lost my freaking camera. And it was the Ace Pro 2 in that Explorer grip, so it wasn't a cheap setup, and I don't want to lose anything anyway. So I'm like, okay, maybe it fell out of my pocket. How did it fall out of the pocket? Because I actually had a hard time like getting it into the pocket. So I walked back and tried to retrace my steps into the woods where I peed. And I looked and I was like, oh, I think I see it. And I walked over and it was somebody else's little mini tripod thingy with a frame on there to hold the camera. And I was like, oh man, but there was no camera or anything. And I didn't want to touch it in case somebody went back to get it. So I found somebody else's shit, but I didn't find my own. So I walked everywhere and I couldn't exactly remember where I'd walked. I'm like, okay, I'll retrace my steps back to where, you know, on the bridge, even though I had it out past the bridge, but you never know. And I'm thinking, God, you know, if anybody walked by there, they just got a free camera. But I'm thinking, I was like literally 5 minutes, not that many people were out. So I retraced my steps, I didn't see it. I'm like, son of a bitch, I can't believe I lost that camera. I walked back and I cut back into the woods again. And I remember when I walked in, when you started to look into the woods, there was like all these tarps set up. And I thought, oh, it's like a freaking homeless shanty town. I'm like, okay, you know, and I was very aware of where I was walking because I didn't want to get shivved in the woods, you know, by a bunch of homeless people. And I just started walking back and forth, looking down and all that stuff. And then I thought, okay, I can't find it. It's got to be in here. So I actually used my phone. And I turned the phone on and I tried to connect to the camera with the app. But of course, you're in the woods. Like everything sounds like it's coming from everywhere. And I was like, did I just hear that? And I was walking and it was trying to connect. So I was like, I'm close enough that it's trying to connect. And I was just like, ugh. And I looked down and it was right there. So I ended up finding it. And it had fallen out of my pocket and was just laying on the ground. Cannot believe that that happened, but at least I found it. But that's all you get for this week. So if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, leave them down below. As always, thanks for joining me. Be sure to like and subscribe. And remember, kids, forward and up.